Okay, this is a mohair care tutorial. When you're going to wash the mohair on your doll, what you want to do is make sure her pull strings are wrapped tightly around her neck so they stay out of the way of the hair and don't get tangled up. The next thing you want to do is use warm water, always warm, never hot or cold. And I like to start by getting my hand wet and smoothing it down her hair so that it's starting to get wet faster and it's evenly worked through, and I don't have to worry about messing up her part line, which is the most important thing not to do. So I like to get it good and wet, like really sopping wet. It's also a good idea to flip her over and do the underside of the hair so that it also gets really good and wet. Try not to get it into the hole in the back of her head. It's not the end of the world if you do, but it's kind of a booger to get the water back out. And it may take out her eyelashes if she has her original ones in. Anyway. That's pretty wet. As you can see, it's not super saturated, but it's wet. It's drippy. That's good. That's where you want to start from. So the next thing you're going to do is get some conditioner or shampoo in your hand. If you're just going to condition, no big deal. If you're going to shampoo, you're going to want to do that. Rinse it really good. Same process. I'm just going to do conditioner. So I use about that much. It's like a pump worth of conditioner. And I get it good and wet in my hand. And then I start at the bottom and I slick it down the hair. You always want to work in a downward motion. You never want to rub the hair, and you don't want to go upward from the bottom. You just want to run it from root to tip, all the way down the hair. Don't agitate it or anything, just run your hand down the hair. That's it. It's really simple. Now, once you've got it good and conditionery, which is about where I've got it right now, should detangle pretty easily, kind of hang in loose ringlets like it's doing right now, then you're good to go. Generally, what I do at this point is let it sit for about 10 minutes so it gets really into the hair, really gets conditioned good. But today I'm not going to do that because I'm in a hurry. Anyway, at this point, I'm ready to rinse. I start by rinsing out the bottom really gently. Again, I'm not rubbing the hair, I'm just sliding my hand down the length of it. And when you go to rinse the top, what I recommend doing is putting your thumb over the part line, because you probably don't have any conditioner in it, and even if you do, it's not going to hurt. Just leave your thumb over the part line so that you can dunk her head underneath the running water without messing up the part line. This will rinse a lot quicker than it would if you were just running water down the hair with your hand. You can do it either way. If you're worried, you can run it down with your hand. And basically, you're just going to sit and gently kind of comb your fingers down the hair until it feels like you've got the conditioner out. So basically, do it the same way you would do your own hair. Just don't do any rubbing. Just always downward motion, smoothing the hair. That's it. I also like, when I'm doing this, to flip the doll over and be sure and get the underside really good, because you probably got conditioner there and you don't want it to be all gooey and disgusting later. It's okay if there's a little bit of conditioner left in the hair and it feels kind of slidey afterwards, because it's mohair, it's going to absorb it, it's going to make it look softer, it's going to make it smoother in the end when it dries, so that's actually kind of a good thing. When you're done, just go ahead and shut off the water. You're going to take your hand and kind of gently squeeze the hair. Again, not agitating, just squeezing. Slide it down the ends so that it's not super drippy, like that. Okay, so at this point the hair should be clean, good to go for combing. I start at the bottom, I use a wide tooth comb. I start at the bottom and I work my way up through the hair until I get to the top. And generally, if you've done a really good job conditioning, it shouldn't have a lot of tangles or anything to work with. Basically, you just run the comb through until it looks pretty smooth, get out any tangles, and that's what it should look like at the end if you're working with mohair. At this point, I just sit her on her stand and wait for it to air dry. Don't mess with it anymore, you don't need to.